Hey folks, Brendan here from Bluelight. Now, if you are a serving police officer who's got a promotion board ahead of you, or you're going for a specialist interview, then this video is for you. And if you are a potential police officer who's in the recruitment process, this video is also for you. Why? Because this is all about forward-facing questions. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to structure and answer forward-facing questions. Now, what is a forward-facing question? Well, the sort of questions we've been very used to over the years at promotion boards and the recruitment process to join the police has been questions like, please, can you give me an example of a time when you have done, worked with others to solve a problem, made a difficult decision, challenged someone's inappropriate behavior, learned from an experience, collaborated with others to solve a problem, taken responsibility for a difficult situation, overcome an obstacle, and it goes on and on and on. And all the questions, they're linked with the competency and values framework, but they're pretty much the same sort of questions that were asked under the old, I can't remember what it stands for, Policing Professional Framework, the PPF. And they're pretty much the same sort of questions that linked in with the occupational standards before that, and pretty much the same sort of questions that were asked before all of those things, where they just used to make it up as they go along because there was no criteria to assess you against. A bit like when I joined in 1985, a bit like when I went through the promotion process in 1993, a bit like when I went through the inspector's promotion process in, I think it was around 2000, 2001. Anyway, things haven't changed. They're the same questions. They've just got different fancy behaviours behind them. Now, we're very used to those, but now something interesting has come along. Questions which say things like, how in the future will you deliver effective community engagement? How in the future will you challenge someone's inappropriate behaviour? How in the future will you ensure a culture of performance on your team? How in the future will you ensure that you enable an ethical culture in the workplace? Oh my goodness, suddenly everyone's brains are scrambled. So in this two-part set of videos, I'm going to explain to you how I would structure those answers. And in the second part, I'm going to talk to you about the detail that I'd put into those different bits of structure. Now, I have seen some advice and guidance from other places, other websites, other people who are similar to me, giving guidance and support on how to answer questions in the police sector for recruitment and promotion around forward-facing questions. And I've seen things like, there's no definitive structure, it's up to you. Well, that's not going to help you, is it? It's not going to help you at all. So I started thinking about a structure that could be used several months ago, and I've come up with one that I think will nail it. Actually, I don't just think it's going to nail it, I know it's going to nail it for you, because so many of my clients have utilized this, both for the recruitment process and especially those people who are going for promotion, because I run something called the Enforce Advancement Group. This is something you could subscribe to for just £3 a month, £3.33 actually, the price of a coffee and a snack, and you can get a short course for that, and you also get weekly webinars where you can come and practice with me the sort of questions that you're going to get. And we work as part of a team on the run up to people's promotion boards and such like. It's probably going to change at some point to a fixed payment, because I've got to be honest, all the admin behind, I want to leave, I want to start, I want to rejoin, it's doing my head in. So it's probably just going to be a fixed fee. But anyway, if you're watching this, whatever you're watching this on, whether it's subscription or fixed fee, the link's below. Come and join us. Come and join the Bluelight Facebook groups. The Facebook group for those who are potential recruits, almost 20,000 members. For serving officers, almost 5,000 members. That's a big percentage of all the police officers in the country. It's only been up and running for a year, so who knows how big that's going to get. Right, okay, to the action part, the bit that you're really interested in. How are you going to structure this? How will you in the future do whatever the thing is? So I borrowed some ideas. This isn't my idea. It's a set of ideas I've morphed and reframed and adapted. I suppose that creates new learning, but There's a TED talk by a guy called Simon Sinek. It's well worth watching. So if you look up TED talk, Simon Sinek, which is S for Sierra, India, November, Echo, Kilo, Sinek, then look that up. A great talk on the Sinek circles. And he talks about the difference between those individuals who market themselves really brilliantly and those companies who market themselves completely brilliantly. And I started thinking at an interview, you're actually marketing yourself, aren't you? So can we adapt these Sinek circles? This is how they go. So to start with, what's the why? What's the why? And he talks in his TED talk about knowing your why, knowing your purpose, knowing the reason why you're there. I'm going to adapt that in a moment for you. He then moves on to the how. How do you actually deliver that service? Okay, how do you deliver that service, that thing? And then there's the what. What do you actually do? What do you actually do? Everyone knows what they do, but do they know why they do it? And can they explain and articulate how they do that thing? So anyway, watch the video. I've adapted these circles though, and this is how I've adapted them. So you're asked the question, why is it important? Sorry, not why is it important, but how in the future will you deliver or enable your teams as a sergeant or an inspector to deliver performance or to deliver an ethical culture or to enable an ethical culture? How in the future will you enable an ethical culture in your teams? Let's stick with that one. So first of all, what I'd start with is why this is important. Why this is important, and it's for you to work that out, not for me to tell you, although we do discuss these sort of things in the Enforced Advancement Group webinars. But why is it so important that the teams within the police service demonstrate an ethical culture? Why is that so important? I'll talk to you a bit more in the second video about the different angles you could look at that from. Now the second part is where people often go a little bit wibbly wobbly, because when it comes to how they're going to deliver that, what they tend to do is just deliver a shopping list of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do the other, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. And it's just this shopping list of lots and lots of different things. The way we approach it is by creating a scenario, the sort of scenario that is that resonates with the interviewers. So I'll talk more about that in the second video as well. Remember, the second video you can find in the Enforced Advancement Group. So how are you actually going to do this? The shopping list approach, anyone can deliver that. I am going to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C. It's not resonating with me. I'm not buying into it. I'm not buying into it. You started off really passionately about why this is important, and then you're just delivering a shopping list. So I'll talk to you more about how to do that in a moment, in the second video, and then this leads to. So what does it lead to? This is where I've adapted the circles. When you do all of these things, what will it lead to? And why is that important? And you're looping back to the beginning about the why. But what's it going to lead to? What will the result be? So there you go, folks. This is how so many of your colleagues are answering forward-facing questions. Now, you may need to think about this as a potential recruit as well, because many forces are asking you questions about how in the future you're going to deal with. And you could use this exact same approach. So let me know if you've got any questions or any comments, even if it's Brendan, I think that was awful. Why would you do that? Please feel free to disagree, but this has worked for so many people so far. It can work for you too. I'll catch up with you in the second video. Bye-bye for now.